Princess Leonor makes historic first visit to Navarre as Princess of Viana. Facts, context, and what it means. Princess Leonor, heir to the Spanish throne, made a landmark two-day visit to the autonomous community of Navarre on Friday in her first official appearance in the region, carrying the historic title Princess of Viana. Accompanied by King Felipe VI and Queen Letizia, Leonor's tour of Pamplona, Viana, Leire, Olite and Tudela was billed by the royal household as both ceremonial and educational, a formal recognition of a title with deep regional roots and an early step in the heir's program of public duties. What happened? The essentials. The royal party arrived in Navarre for a two-day program of institutional events and local visits. Officials say the itinerary included an official reception at the Palace of Navarre in Pamplona, visits to historic sites such as the monastery of Leire and the medieval town of Olite, and civic events in Viana and Tudela. The visit was designed to underline Leonor's formal link with the principality and to bring the heir closer to regional institutions and citizens. At the Palace of Navarre, the princess and her parents were shown archival material connected to the title, including the original charter and documents that historically underpin the dignity of Princess of Viana. Local authorities and the regional president received the royal party inside the seat of the regional government. The handover and displays were presented as gestures of continuity between Navarre's historical identity and the modern crown. Why this visit matters: history and legal background. The title Princess of Viana is centuries old and historically links the crown of Spain to the Old Kingdom of Navarre. Contemporary practice has associated the dignity with the heir to the Spanish throne. Publics and institutions in Navarre have for generations treated the title as a symbolic bond between the region and the monarchy. The royal household framed this visit as a ceremonial affirmation of that bond at a moment when the heir is increasingly visible on the national stage. Several outlets note the title's origins date back more than 6 centuries, and the current tour was explicitly timed to reinforce that heritage. What Leonor did and said. On the record, official coverage and local footage show Princess Leonor taking part in a mix of formal and informal encounters, inspecting archival documents, greeting residents, speaking with students and local officials, and visiting religious and historic sites. According to reports, she paused to speak with citizens, accepted local gifts, and engaged in photo opportunities that were intentionally more personal than purely ceremonial. Officials emphasized the educational nature of the visit. The princess described the trip as an occasion to learn about Navarre's history and communities. Immediate local and national reaction was mixed but energetic. Supporters hailed the visit as a meaningful expression of constitutional monarchy, the heir visibly connecting with Spain's territorial communities. Photos of Leonor interacting with schoolchildren and inspecting century-old parchments circulated widely on social media and in broadcast clips, prompting favorable commentary about her approachability and preparedness for future duties. At the same time, analysts and some political actors noted the inevitable political overtones. Royal visits to regions with distinct local identities are often parsed for their symbolic value, and critics sometimes frame such appearances as attempts to shore up popular support. How this fits into Leonor's public role. Princess Leonor's presence in Navarre is part of a broader pattern, as she transitions from ceremonial appearances to a heavier schedule of institutional duties. She is undertaking regional visits tied to the traditional titles held by the heir, for example, Princess of Asturias and Princess of Girona. Royal commentators point out that these visits serve several functions simultaneously: historical recognition, public diplomacy, and a program of apprenticeship for a future monarch. The visit also follows Leonor's recent military and civic training, underlining the crown's stated aim to prepare her for eventual reign with a mix of formal education and public service. A note on timing and political context: the trip comes amid intensified public interest in the crown's role and image. In recent months, the royal family has sought to consolidate institutional confidence through visibility and outreach. Some regional parties and commentators continue to scrutinize royal honors and visits for what they see as political messaging, an inevitable feature of public life in a decentralized constitutional system. Observers will watch whether visits such as this shift long-term attitudes or simply provide episodic goodwill. What to watch next? Further regional engagements. The royal household typically schedules follow-up appearances after a first tour, including cultural and educational events where the heir can deepen local ties. Public opinion. Early social media and press responses were broadly positive among younger and centrist audiences, Pollsters may track whether that translates into measurable changes in attitudes toward the crown. Political reactions. Local government statements and parliamentary commentary in Navarre may clarify whether the visit eases tensions or fuels debate about regional identity and the crown's role. Bottom line: Princess Leonor's trip to Navarre as Princess of Viana was at once ceremonial and strategic, a history-steeped title given public form through archival displays and civic meetings, and a clear step in the heir's transition toward more sustained official duties. The visit reinforced traditional bonds between the crown and Navarre while exposing the heir to the regional dynamics she will confront as queen. As the footage and reactions circulate, Spain's political and cultural conversation will test whether such engagements deepen popular trust, or simply remain memorable episodes in a long apprenticeship.